A perpetual struggle has been whatever I learn from sources, how do I apply it in my life? इस वीडियो में I want to share a personal story about my daughters and how something they said made an impact on me, but I couldn't do anything about it for years. तो मेरी दो बेटियां हैं, one is 22 and second is 19. And करीब करीब 10 साल के पहले मेरी बड़ी बेटी ने एक शेयर्ड एप्पल उस पर एक कुछ नोट्स पे कुछ लिखा था, which I saw, where she wrote that as an essay on individuality, that who were you before the world told you to be, and what will you do if you knew you would not fail? Now, the background is that I always wanted to be somebody who follows excellence and, always my best version and all. But over time, because of imposter syndrome, lack of confidence, or whatever, the main feeling was कि I'm not enough. हमेशा एक रहता था कि somebody will find me, कि I'm a nobody. हमेशा एक feeling थी कि they will know that I'm not doing enough or I'm not creating enough value. And this feeling was perpetual, and it was starting to rub off my personal life as well, where my relationship with my friends and with my family was becoming more like how they wanted me to be rather than how I was. And when I saw this statement about 10 years back, it kind of made me feel that I must do something. And I remember मैंने अपने mentor से बात की थी इस बारे में, and I should do this. And he said, क्या करना चाहते हो? मेरे को पता नहीं है क्या करना चाहता हूँ, but कुछ करना है लाइफ में, क्लैरिटी करनी है, and बस ये A B C D E F G H हो जाए, tick in the boxes हो जाए, फिर मैं करूँगा. And that time never came. And then lo and behold, I used to, I finally quit my job and started my journey. But something else happened before that. Feeling grew in my mind. That statement when I read from my daughter, कि अगर मैंने अपने बच्चों को पुश किया कि be your best version, because dad couldn't be, do something great because I couldn't. There was always a hidden little noise in my head which is कि I couldn't, so you better do that. You all want your children to be better than you. And this feeling was growing massively कि कभी उन्होंने पलट के मुझसे ये पूछ लिया कि पापा आपने किया तो मैं क्या करूँगा. And anyways, 2017 I was a fat guy, and I was frustrated with all aspects of my life massively, and I decided to transform my life. And one fine day I decided, and then I lost 16 weeks, 16 kg. Never looked back. This was like 6 years back. And everybody told me you can't do that because you're like you're 45-year-old, you can't do that. But I kept going and I did it. Then I quit my job, I started this journey, and as a coach and impactful life, everything, all that happening. And then एक बार, in those late evening time when you are with your daughter and you're talking to them, and I was talking to my younger daughter. मैंने उससे यही चीज़ बताई, उससे सेम स्टोरी बताई कि मैं ये सोचता था कि अगर मैं तुमको बोलूँ, पुश करूँ तुम्हें, और तुम लोग टर्न करके मुझे बोलो कि बेटा कि पापा आपने क्या किया, what will I do? And that was one of the driving factor, that negativity inside me that I kind of made a driving factor. It took me 3-4 years after that to make it happen, but it still made a driving factor. It was a 3-4 years of waste of time anyways. I didn't need to do that. But anyways, and then she said, you know what, Papa, actually me and Sanya, like she and her elder sister, she said, we used to talk about it ki Mama comes home at 4 o'clock. Papa sometimes doesn't go to office. He's in a senior role, But is this work? Ooh, shook me up that they were probably this close to saying to me कि आपने क्या किया अपनी ज़िंदगी में. And last year, when I turned 50, my wife asked both my daughters to say something about me. 12 o'clock in the night, and my older one says something nice about how I've been there and I'm reliable and all that. But my younger daughter says, she was 18 at the time, she said कि Papa, thank you for starting this journey for our family. And that moment I cried with happiness and joy, and I felt कि हाँ, आज मैं उन्हें पुश करने के लिए, excellence के लिए डिजर्व करता हूँ. And आज they will not turn back and say कि आपने क्या किया. And at that time it was like life could finish and I would just be happy. I would just be like, all right, I'm done. But I know that was really, that became like an inflection point in my life where I realized that no matter what you're doing, what you're saying, your family is watching what you're doing. Your kids are watching what you're doing. And if you want your kids to remember you because you're dad, that's one thing. Truth, they will. But if you want them to remember you because you're awesome, it's a different ball game. And I've seen in my own family where Shilpa's dad, my wife's dad, passed away 24 years back, almost 23 years back, 23 and a half years back now, just 6 months after our wedding. And he's still remembered. His books are still being taught in the college because he was a professor in psychology, PhD and everything. People in the blind school still remember him. तो उनकी 55 साल की ज़िंदगी में उन्होंने वो कुछ ज़्यादा किया जो मैंने पिछले मेरे 51 साल में नहीं किया. So when you're building your career, when you're building your life, bring this into the equation somewhere that your life has a meaning, a purpose, something bigger than yourself. And if you go with that perspective in your life कि मैंने कुछ substantial किया है, then your family, your loved ones won't just love you because you're their dad or their brother or their sister or their daughter or what, but because you are. And I don't really believe there's something, I'm pretty sure there's a bigger purpose than that, but there's something bigger than your family recognizing that you're pretty freaking awesome. And honestly, this is my aspiration for each and every of you, that someday, somewhere you find that part inside you which is capable of greatness beyond ordinary, and follow that path. Hope you like it. Hope you can relate to it. I'm really curious to know about your own personal stories which have led you to believe in a different path and your capability and set you on a path which has created a big change in your life.